Today we will multiply a whole number by a fraction using fraction tiles. The problem we have today reads, Macy has 4 flowers. Each flower needs 2/3 of a cup of water. How many cups of water will Macy need? We will begin with using fraction tiles in our concrete model. First we will get 4 rectangles to represent the 4 flowers. Then we will partition each rectangle into 3 equal parts because the denominator in our fraction is 3. This lets us know that there are 3 equal parts in each whole. Next, we will shade in 2/3 for each rectangle because each flower needs 2/3 of a cup of water. Now let's count how many thirds we have shaded. We can see that we have shaded in 8 thirds. We can rearrange the 8 thirds to represent the shaded parts all together. This will help us find out how many cups of water Macy will need. Again, we will shade in a total of 8 thirds. Once all the shaded parts are combined, we can count a total of 8 shaded parts. We can see that we have a total of 2 wholes and 2 thirds. Now we can visually see that 2 and 2/3 is equal to 8 thirds. Next, we're going to draw our pictorial model to solve the problem. First, we will draw 4 rectangles to represent the 4 flowers from our problem. Then we will divide each rectangle into 3 equal parts. Next, we will shade in 2 parts in each rectangle to represent the water the 4 flowers need. This means we have 2/3 shaded in for each rectangle. We're going to count out how many shaded parts we have together. We have 8 parts shaded in. We can represent the shaded parts with the fraction 8 thirds. Another way to represent 8 thirds is to combine the 8 parts. The pictorial model shows us that we have 2 wholes and 2 thirds. This means 8 thirds is equal to 2 and 2/3. For our abstract model, we will be multiplying 4 times 2/3. The 4 represents the 4 flowers, and the 2/3 represents the water each flower needs. We know multiplication is simply repeated addition, so we're going to write 4 groups of 2/3 We know that when we add fractions, the denominator stays the same. Then we add the numerators, which gives us 8. I'm quickly going to represent the 4 groups of 2/3 pictorially. This part is connecting all the strategies we have done to solve the problem. Again, with the picture, I'm using repeated addition. Remember, our denominator stays the same, and each rectangle represents 2/3. We can count the 8 shaded parts, giving us 8 as our numerator. Remember that our next step is changing the improper fraction 8 thirds into a mixed fraction. We do this by combining the shaded parts to find out how many wholes and parts we have. We can count 1 whole and 1 whole makes 2 wholes, and 1/3 and 1/3 equals 2/3. Altogether, this gives us 2 and 2/3, which is equal to 8 thirds. Both fractions represent how much water Macy will need. The difference is that 8 thirds is an improper fraction and 2 and 2/3 is a mixed fraction. Let's go back to our word problem. Macy has 4 flowers. Each flower needs 2/3 of a cup of water. How many cups of water will Macy need? We found that Macy will need 2 and 2/3 cups of water for her flowers.